I always book my appointment online. But to get an appointment, I've got to book it. As the surgery posts what's available that day on the system at a couple of minutes after 8 o'clock. If I go, say, at 10 o'clock, there's nothing left. So as long as I can get on the computer and be sat there a couple of minutes before 8, I can usually get an appointment that day.
I have no problems. We use the internet. We use the internet dead on 8 o'clock. They open the appointments for the day, and you can usually find an appointment. So we have no problems. If you've got to use the telephone, you've got no chance. It's just hanging about and hanging about till someone answers. And by the time they answer, you've lost your appointment.
Very easily we can get them the same day, 9 times out of 10. In fact, every time. And we want them, we can get them.
And why is that?
Well, I'm assuming they're so well organised. You will have them at the end of surgery, in the morning and then in the evening.
I don't find it particularly easy to get an appointment at my surgery because I like to see the doctor of my choice, and that particular doctor is not always available. You can only book 5 days in advance, so you sometimes have to make continual calls to the surgery to make sure that you can get an appointment when you want it.
If I want my particular GP that I've had for a long time, I always have to wait, unless it's had a cancellation, which is very rare. But if I need to see a GP in a hurry, I can usually book in 24 hours to see somebody else. So I don't really have a problem with booking.
It does depend, but I mean, the last time I tried it, I couldn't get one for a fortnight. But there has been times where I've got one the same day. So why there's such a, vast difference in one day to the next? But some of the appointment system does need to be changed, because if you phone up at 3:30 and ask for an appointment, they say ring back at 8:30 in the morning. Well, if there's one at 8:30, surely there's one at 3:30 the day before. So why can't they use them?
Right, it's easy because if you contact the surgery after 8:30 and before, say, 9:15, you can normally get an appointment the same day. Now, why it's not easy, I suppose if some people leave it later on to try and get an appointment, they can't get one. There are some emergency appointments, I believe, towards the end of the day, where if it is a real emergency, there are 1 or 2 slots that patients can get in at the surgery.
It's easier than it was, but it's still it's basically because of the telephone contact and the delay you have to, that ensues when you phone up, especially at peak times, which might be Monday mornings after the weekend, or indeed any time early in the morning. But they do have a stacking system now at our practice, which effectively makes it a little bit better, and you know roughly how long you're going to wait if you say you're third in the queue or whatever. But the practice I'm with has certainly tried to improve the whole issue over the past 18 months, 2 years, and we have a very active patient panel group which has helped and worked with the doctors to try and improve the situation. And hopefully we are lucky enough to be moving into a new building early next year, and part of that process is going to get an improved telephone service. So after that, I would imagine that it will be relatively easy to get an appointment.
It's quite easy. A couple of days and I've got an appointment.
What's that?
It's a small surgery. We know the receptionists. The receptionists know us. And if it's urgent, they'll try and fit us in as quickly as possible. If it's a non-urgent case, then they'll say 2 days, 3 days, it's up to you. It depends on the urgency of the case, but they will always try and fit you in.
It is difficult because they always say there's no place, there's no vacant to see the GP until maybe the following day or the following week. So I find that if they don't know why I'm ringing to ask for an appointment, They should not just put the patient off. That's why we go to the walk-in clinic, because it's quicker to see anybody there.
Dependent on whether I get through at 8 o'clock in the morning on the phone. Can be a bit of a lottery to get through. Usually maybe on the phone for 15 minutes and have to ring back. But generally when I get through, then the appointments are okay.
I have no problem with the medical practice that I attend. The simple reason that I am prepared to see any doctor I need that is free, and I know that they will always try and fit me in. The reason I know that is because in the old days I hadn't used to need much medical treatment, so now they know that if I shout, or any of the family, it must be reasonably important, otherwise we'd look after ourselves. Therefore, no problems.
Normally you ring up and all the appointments have gone, so it's normally like 2 weeks, 3 weeks time before they can fit you in. Unless it's an emergency, but then sometimes you're not quite sure is it classed as an emergency or not.
Well, it's the old how long is a piece of string mentality. Regarding, like, I have issues with my asthma and stuff like that, and me getting a GP ASAP is like impossible, basically. Impossible.
Just have to make an appointment. Virtually you can't do it the same day unless there's an emergency. If you're having chest pains or breathing trouble, then you can do it, but other than that you have to wait for a couple of days.
It is easy to get an appointment in my GP surgery because they've got two options that you can access the GP, and that's a direct number as well as I think it's 111. I find that very useful and very helpful in that if they're fully booked, there's another option where they can actually send you to, and you can still see another GP.